About my first days at Pepperdine. I honestly was not completely thrilled about starting a new chapter in my life when I came out here. I remember actually driving my car through the canyon on the first day, just kind of crying and not happy to be here. I didn't want to be starting this new chapter in my life. I spent the first couple of weeks here really reminiscing about college, upset that those carefree undergrad days were over, kind of bitter that all my friends were still back in Madison, Wisconsin living it up, and that I had chosen to kind of do the hard thing and take a risk and get out of my comfort zone and move all the way across the country to come to law school. I knew that people had said that these experiences were good for you and that they made you grow as a person, but at the time I really didn't want to grow as a person. I just wanted to be back in the familiar. I really did. I wanted to be back in the familiar with the people that I knew for so long and who I had such great memories with. My rough start was also somewhat evidenced by the fact that I was called on in Professor Naplin's mock class during orientation. I don't know if Professor Naplin's here. But she asked me the simple question of what would someone be wearing in Wisconsin in February in the middle of the winter? And me, being a nervous 1L, looking like a deer in headlights, said shorts. Yeah, wrong answer. Anyways, so I debated transferring my entire first year, and I ended up deciding to stay. I started making some really good friends. I started getting some things to kind of look forward to, like the CDO Bagel Mondays and Thursday happy hours in the library and 1L bar reviews. Yeah, and so I ended up deciding that I really just wanted to cherish this time here, and I didn't want to be living in the past anymore, like I had been doing. So I also think that Professor Anderson kind of hit it on the head in first year contracts class when he told us one day that law school is 3 years of your life that you won't get back. He said, don't, in a good way, he said, don't hurry it away, don't wish it away, don't hurry through it. These are 3 years of your life, they're going to be great, just appreciate it. And that advice really stuck with me, and it made me kind of want to appreciate the challenges and the experiences that were going to come with the next 3 years. And now as we're transitioning kind of out of law school and into the next phase of life, I wanted to just kind of talk about the challenges that come with that same type of transition in a different way. And as I think of life change is always a good opportunity for kind of self-analysis and reflection, I wanted to share with you 10 values that I kind of pinpointed that I think define the type of person that I want to be in the future, and I think might help you as well. Number 1, be authentic. It's refreshing. So many people today have so much to prove. You constantly hear talk about so-and-so landing a job at such and such place, the guy who knows all the people and all the right connections, and the people that seem to have everything going for them right all the time. It feels like kind of a rat race sometimes, kind of exhausting just to keep up, and it makes me wonder what people are trying to prove and who they're trying to prove it to. In my mind, I think it takes only one person to just be authentic, to be content enough in themselves to open up and to be vulnerable, to be truly genuine with others about their struggles, insecurities, worries, and shortcomings. While this can certainly be a challenge at first, once those around you realize that you have nothing to prove, you become a breath of fresh air, opening the door for them to be real with you as well. Number 2, love others with no expectations. No one in life will do exactly what you want them to do or be exactly who you want them to be. And when we push and pull others into conforming to our own expectations, we only set ourselves up for failure and them for disappointment. So work on making yourself and the person you want to be and stop expecting others to be. You free up a lot of your own energy once you commit to take people as they are, without expectations, without motivation for some personal gain, and just allow yourself to love them. This is truly one of the most important things I think we can do in life. Number 3, don't judge. You never know what someone is going through. You never know why people are the way they are. People have insecurities, fears, and problems far deeper than you could ever imagine. The guy who cut you off on the highway, he could be driving to the hospital to comfort a sick family member. The store clerk who seems completely incompetent, she could be working her 3rd job just to keep her family afloat. People always have reasons that we can't see, and these reasons are the reasons to love them all the more. I challenge you to see frustrating circumstances as opportunities. Opportunities to be different, opportunities to love those who least expect it and least deserve it. To love only your friends and family, anyone can do that. But to love those who you're so inclined to treat otherwise, that is the real challenge. Number 4, live with intention. It's easy to float through life just thinking that everything will be taken care of. That someone will make friends with the new guy, that someone will talk to that annoying colleague that you sure don't want to talk to, that someone will take the time to see why one of your friends has been so sad these past few days. But oftentimes, no one does these things. So I encourage you to be intentional. Spend time really being aware of the needs of those around you and meeting those needs. There's a good chance that you'll be the only one. This can be as small as a kind word, a note of encouragement, or just taking the time to remember their name and ask how their day is going. And it does matter, a lot. Number 5, don't burn out. Be aware of what drives you. For me, it's deep conversations, and God, and dancing, and coffee. Pursue the fun things in your life that you consider your passion and don't feel guilty about doing them. Even when the going gets tough, you're working 60 hours a week or whatever the case may be. Whether it be running a marathon, skiing, mountain climbing, traveling, don't wait until someday to do these things. Time goes by just as these 3 years have gone by so quickly. So make the time and just do it. Don't be that elderly person saying, if only and what if. Number 6, the truth can be really hard to hear and even harder to speak, but tell it anyways. This may be one of the biggest lessons I've learned in law school. As lawyers, we are kind of taught to take the harsh truth and package it up in a pretty package to tell its story in the way that looks most favorable to us. But many times I've learned that the truth, while really hard in the moment, saves a lot of heartache and failed expectations in the future. Number 7, be quick to say I'm sorry and do it often. Number 8, don't compromise who you are. Know what you believe, identify your values, principles, and morals, and stick to them. Write them down. Don't justify little compromises that chip away at them. Number 9, count your blessings. They're all around you, and the majority of people spend far too much energy focusing on what's wrong with their lives rather than what's right with it. Virtues like wisdom, loyalty, and humility are few and far between these days.
Oh, hey, girl. Yeah. I know you're not missing very much. Okay, you're just giving this real long speech thing. All right.
Number 10.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Don't be rude. Sorry. In my view, there are 2 types of people. There are those who go through life seeing what they can get out of it, and there are those who are always looking for what they have to offer. Being in this category starts with being okay with who you are, with knowing your place in the world around you. It starts with a spirit of contentment, not burdened by resentment, bitterness, or anger. It requires embracing the truth that everyone goes through difficult circumstances, but rather than allowing them to harden your heart and callous your soul, choosing instead to let these circumstances change you into a stronger, wiser person. To wrap up, I wanted to read an excerpt from one of my favorite books right now that I think sums up the idea that change, while hard, is also good. Change is both bitter and sweet at the same time. Fittingly, the book is called Bittersweet, and it reads, "Bittersweet is the idea that in all things there is both something broken and something beautiful, that there is a sliver of light on even the darkest of nights, a shadow of hope in every heartbreak, and that rejoicing is no less rich when it contains a splinter of sadness. Bittersweet is the practice of believing that we really do need both the bitter and the sweet, that a life of nothing sweetness rots both your teeth and your soul. Bitter is what makes us strong, what forces us to push through, what helps us earn the lines on our faces and the calluses on our hands. Sweet is nice enough, but bittersweet is beautiful, nuanced, full of depth and complexity. This is what I've come to believe about change. It's good, in the way that heartbreak is good and failure is good. I've learned the hard way that change is one of God's greatest gifts and most useful tools. Change can push us, pull us, rebuke us, and remake us. It can show us who we've become in the worst ways and also in the best ways. I've learned that it's not something to run away from, and that in many cases, change is a function of God's graciousness, not life's cruelty. As we prepare to take on this big transition out of law school, I want to encourage you to embrace the change and everything that comes with it. To make the most out of the experiences you've made thus far, holding tightly to the lessons you've learned and the relationships that you've formed. Make a promise to yourself to go into the next phase of life a stronger person, looking forward to what lies ahead, yet not forgetting what lies behind. Thank you.